And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I'm net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today, we're currently featuring over 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Then you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new feature called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature, philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, Our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, as we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters, and through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie? Got a copy? And it appears that Charlie's not with us this Friday. He'll probably join us next Friday. This is the KC9VKV Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and we'll get right to it. My name is Jim, and we record now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV, Whiskey 4, Oscar, Victor, Tango, W4OVT, North Carolina. Name is Mark. Mike Alpha, Romeo Charlie. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, Mark. In North Carolina, is that a Roger?
QSL.
Roger, Mark in North Carolina. And what radio are you running today, Mark?
I am on a Tentec Orion 2 using the model 708 Tentec microphone. No other enhancements. I do have the W2 IHY equipment here. I just have yet to put it in line. Julius was kind to send me, and just wanted to let you know. You're well heard. As far as that page, you ought to have good audio. And I think I heard you say you're on a loop antenna there. I'm using a NI4L, is a producer of wire dipoles there, Chris, ni4l.com, and I'm on his variant of the G5RV, the Zulu Sierra 6 Bravo Kilo Whiskey enhanced version, and that's the rundown here. How copy?
Yes, sir, Mark. I am on my one of my 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, and this one has been tuned specifically to null local noise. And it's just unbelievable. I usually use like Milford or one of the SDRs, but this is just perfect. I have quite a bit of line noise on the other loops, and those loops are, let's see, one is at 0 degrees, aimed at 0 degrees, one is aimed at 90 degrees, and this particular one is aimed at 134 degrees, so it is more or less specifically aimed towards the North Carolina area. Roger, roger?
Yeah, you're peaking 10 over here, so I'd say you've got everything working well. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know Mike at K3FEF there, they've had some outages. I use their STR running the Tintec. What are you talking about? Although that one gets filled up sometimes. I got to quit talking about it. Too many people are using it there, and then on 15 meters we rely on the Utah. They've got a Yagi antenna pointing east there, so that's a great site too. All right, well, sounding good there, and thanks for your service. I heard you last Friday helping out a gentleman with his audio, so I think it's a fine thing that you're doing there. So back to you, KC9VKV W4OVT.
Roger, roger, Mark. And this will be uploaded to YouTube. We're recording now till 5, and then we upload it to YouTube by noon tomorrow, so you should enjoy your recording. Technically, your EQ pattern is just perfect. You have a lot of articulation in your audio. I can tell, I'm looking at your modulation, I can tell you're right up there about 3 dB dynamic range, which is absolutely perfect. You can go fatter than that, but what happens is you start to blur and you actually shoot yourself in the foot when you pass that 3 dB wide dynamic range for transmit level. So all in all, sounds really good, Mark.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, I've had some people far more familiar with this rig. It has some limited EQ settings with roll-off and a few others, so I've taken their advice and have done my recordings there as well. So this sounds as close to my voice as I can get it. But hey, I'm just curious if you've explored the world of pure signal pre-distortion that the Anon radios, the ESSB world. Have you ventured into that dark cave yet? Over.
No, we're just using a 7300 for the past few months occasionally, and this particular one is a modified Yaesu 990, about a 35-year-old radio that's been pretty heavily modified, transmit and receive. And we use that because it is the original receiver that we used when we developed our multiple antennas. It has an aux antenna input, and by that way we can have a selector switch, a 6-position selector switch for our 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, our dipole antenna, resonant dipole antenna, and we've got a vertical in there also, Roger.
Very good. Okay. Well, again, it's a great service you're providing. I've always believed in the 4 tenets of ham operators. We want to hear, we want to be heard, we want to learn, and we want to sound good. So that world of ESSB certainly can achieve some fidelity that is otherwise not heard on the radios. I mean, it's broadcast quality. I've got the Sun SDR-DX here. I haven't done much with it. I'm waiting for their version 3. I'm not a big fan of beta software, but yeah, so far Apache Labs, with their Thetis software there, they've they've gotten out in front of the pack. Flex has been promising it for a few years, frustrating a lot of its owners. And so is Expert with the Sun STR. And I'm not sure how they're going to pull it off, because they don't have the resonant hardware, at least to do it the way Anon has delivered it. So pretty compelling offering there for wonderful fidelity. That's just got very sharp cut off there on the edges. No splattering. So. All right, very good, Jim. Nice to meet you there. Thanks for taking the call, and I'll let you provide your helpful service to someone else there. KC9VKV W4OVT73.
Roger, Mark. That Tintec, what was the model number on that?
Yeah, it's the Orion 2. It was their contesting radio. It has two independent receivers there. So they made the original Orion, and that was released back in the 2004-2005 time frame, and they followed that up with the Orion 2. Essentially the same radio. They just went with a color display there and switched the mic input from the problematic 4-pin to the 8-pin there. That helped eliminate some issues they had with the original Orion, and then they came out with the Omni 7, followed by the Eagle, and the Argonaut 6 in 2000. It all came to an end. 46 years. Lots of innovations along the way, and legendary support. And that's what I do. You can see on my QRZ page. A group of us keep that story alive with the Tintec Legacy Net. And we're now expanded to 75 meter, 20 meter on Saturday sideband nets, and then we have sideband and CW nets on Sundays. There, that's on 40 meters and 15 meters there. So, yeah, we're sponsoring the World Amateur Radio Day for our 4th year coming up, April 17th and 18th, operating as Whiskey One Whiskey. Lots of opportunities for you to come by and wave a RF hand. I hope you will. KC9VKV W4OVT.
Roger, Mark. Well, let's see. I've been switching around. I have a chevron on the right side of my set there that has indication of where I'm listening at the moment. It's 6 lights, and as I go through my SDRs on my local receiver, they will tell you exactly where I am. So I went through, and you're pretty hot all across the country. You really sound good across the country. And now, when I'm in my local antenna, that's the 990 today. That's pretty full from the bottom to the top, and I have a spectrum analyzer on the set also that is hooked to my output of the receiver and also my audio, and so when you're talking, it's displaying your frequency response in the transmission, and so you might find that also interesting. One thing about the spectrum analyzer, it has a white mark on the left side, which denotes 100 cycles, and then on the right side there are 2 white marks. The first white mark is 1 kc, then there's a black mark which is 2 kc, and then the next white mark is 4 kc, so you'll have some idea of what you're looking at. Roger?
Okay, and that's you publish that to YouTube, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,500, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Okay, and you're in here most every Friday afternoon, is that correct?
Roger, yeah. Friday afternoons from 3:30 till 5.
Okay, well, I'll do that, and I'll post it. I do a net report on Mondays, capturing, usually it's a couple hundred check-ins every weekend there, and I'll put the word out. No doubt we'll send some business your way, so to speak. So once again, thank you. It's a fine service you're providing there, and I look forward to letting the rest of the Tentec Legacy Net members. We have 322 members, so I think a number of them will be interested in coming by and taking advantage of your kind offering here. KC9VKV with many thanks from W4OVT.
Roger, Roger, Mark 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November India 8 Alpha.
Is it come back station phonetically with your call sign, please?
November India 8 Alpha.
November India 8 Alpha. I think you might be just a little low on frequency. We're on 7188.000.
All right, there's 7188. That any better, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You sound much better. It's amazing how, slightly off frequency can apparently affect your equalization, although it doesn't really. But, being off frequency, it does shift things down a little bit, and you do sound a little more bassy. But on frequency, what's the name there?
The name is Bob Baker, Oscar Baker, and we're northwest of Columbia. West of Columbia, South Carolina. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm using my Georgia SDR, so come back one more time. What's the name there?
Come back one more time. What's the name there?
The name is Bob Baker, Oscar Baker, and we're 40 miles west of South Carolina. Go ahead.
All righty, Bob, and what radio are you running today, sir?
All righty, Bob, and what radio are you running today, sir?
I've got a FCDX 101D. Go ahead.
Okay, 101D, Roger.
Okay, 101D, Roger.
101D QSL, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you making sure you're in that wide transmit band pass 100 to 2900, Roger.
100 to 2900, Roger.
I don't know what I got here. Hold on a second. I'm looking at 2400 on the width of the band pass. Go ahead.
Roger. That's is that an older radio or a newer radio?
Is that an older radio or a newer radio?
No, that's the new one. The dual end does nothing. Go ahead.
All right, so you should have a position for bandwidth 100 to 2900. That will give you the best performance for your radio, 100 to 2900. Now there are lesser bandwidths, but what happens is you start rolling your top off. As you reduce your band pass, you start losing articulation, and that's the one thing that is desperately needed in our situation is articulation, where you can understand what somebody's saying, not just hear them, but understand what they're saying, and that all relates to articulation. So you really want to be in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, Roger?
To 2900 transmit bandwidth, Roger.
QSL, sir, how do I get there?
You should have in settings, you should have a selection, maybe three, like 7300, 7610, they have selections of different bandwidths. The top one, the widest one, is 100 to 2900 for a selection, and that gives you the best performance for your transmitter, Roger.
Performance for your transmitter, Roger.
QSL, I was in there a while ago, but I don't remember how to get there. Let me see what I can do, and I'll be on the side for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's make a note of that to check that at your convenience later on. But you do want to be in that mode, 100 to 2900. So past that, to start our setup procedure, engage your compressor at a 3. Compression on at a 3. It's a token amount, something you'll never hear on the air, but it helps us arrive at our 3 dB dynamic range at the end of the setup. So compression on at a 3, Roger.
So compression on at a 3, Roger.
QSO, sir. I've not done much with this 101D, so let me check around and see what I can come up with. I've only had it for 2 days. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, how about taking some notes, and then you can crank them in as things become available in your knowledge. The first would be verifying you're in that wide transmit band mode, 100 to 2900. Following that, the setup procedure starts with the compression on at a 3. It's a token amount, something you'll never hear, and that's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor input is labeled. 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Then past that, you would go to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and we have a magic word that you utter to make an acoustic to electronic level conversion. The word is audio. The first part of that word, not the back part, but just the audio part of the word. Draw that out and adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. And we chose that word specially because that word has so much information tonality-wise, from 25 cycles to 2 kC, and so it's plenty broad enough for you to set a level with. And so it's audio, adjust mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Yeah, QSO, sir. Let me see what I come up, and I'll come back to you.
Well, if you take those notes, you can crank them in as you find them, Roger.
You can crank them in as you find them, Roger. Roger.
So, and then we would move to your, do you know how to get to your equalization page?
Do you know how to get to your equalization page?
Well, there's another thing that you would need to find out to be able to set your radio up. So maybe you can get back with me when you find out how to get to those things, and we can press on with the setup, Roger.
We can press on with the setup, Roger.
Hello, Bob. You still there?
You still there?
NI 8A, this is KC9VKV.
8A, this is KC9VKV.
And nothing heard. Bob, maybe gypsies stole him. I'm not real sure, but anyway, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We're on the air from now till 5, recording all the way, and then we'll post the recording up on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, do a call, let us check for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. It'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in the series of 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Zanzibar 8 Papa.
Zanzibar 8 station, come back and give me your call sign phonetically slowly.
Station, come back and give me your call sign phonetically slowly.
Whiskey Zanzibar 8 Papa, Whiskey Zulu 8 Papa, over.
8 Papa, Roger, Roger. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And what's the name there, sir?
The Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And what's the name there, sir?
My name is Ev Echo Victoria.
Roger, Ev, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Ev, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Zanesville, southeastern Ohio, over.
Roger, Evan. What radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Evan. What radio are you running today, sir?
I'm using a Kenwood TS890.
All right, Ev, if you'd be interested in a setup procedure, it starts with you verifying that you're in that wide transmit band pass, 100 to 2900. Roger?
Transmit band pass,
100 to 2900, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Right now it's 100 to 2900 and 2.8 bandwidth.
To what?
100 to 2900 is what we're looking for there. That's the wide mode, which would give you the best performance for your transmitter. Following that, we suggest going to the compressor and turning it on and adjusting for a 3. That is a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor is labeled. It's a token amount, something you'll never hear on the air, but it helps us get to our 3 dB dynamic range. Roger?
Yeah, but it helps us get to our 3 dB dynamic range. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Next step?
All right, so I'm assuming that you are with your compressor on at a 3. Roger?
So I'm assuming that you are with your compressor on at a 3. Roger?
It is on, but I don't know what the number is, but I'll come back to it later.
Well, it's very important. Do you not have an input level control that is labeled, and you can put it on a 3 or out of 10 or 30 out of 100?
A 3 or out of 10 or 30 out of 100?
I can switch the processor on and off, but as far as what the number is, I'd have to go into a menu, and I didn't want to delay you while I look for the menu. Over.
Yes, so just disconnect the compressor. Just take the compressor out of the circuit. It's not worth the sweat right now, and it doesn't contribute that much. It just is a nice little feature, but we can bypass. If you can turn the compressor off, that's what I would do, and then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, you become a human test tone generator, and you generate an acoustic level that translates into a electronic level. As you look at your ALC meter, adjust your mic gain until your ALC reads 2/3 by saying the word audio. Roger?
2/3 by saying the word audio. Roger?
Okay, fine. I turn the processor off, so the processor is off, and I'm going to turn the mic gain here as I say let's see, that was audio. That's about half to 2/3. That looks about right.
Yes, sir. Well, see, we chose that word specifically because we, used to say between mid-scale and 2/3, but we don't need to do that anymore because that word is so precise that you just adjust your mic gain for 2/3 on your ALC. Roger?
Adjust your mic gain for 2/3 on your ALC. Roger?
Okay, audio. Okay, that's about it right there.
Yes, sir. Don't be concerned about the back half of that word. The real part of that word that we use is the front, audio, and you become a human test tone generator. So try it just with the and adjust for 2/3 on your ALC.
And adjust for 2/3 on your ALC. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it drops off some. That's about 2.
Yes, sir. You just say the word. You don't have to stress it. Just say it as you would say any other word in a QSO. And that's, again, the beauty about setting up an ALC that way. So now that we've got the ALC set, do you know how to get to your equalization page?
ALC set. Do you know how to get to your equalization page?
No, I don't. I just got the radio. Yeah, take good notes. Go ahead.
Alrighty, so maybe at a later time that you could get back with us and we could set your articulation, your equalization. Roger, Roger?
Roger.
Alrighty, so that's about as far as we can go right now. If you'd be interested in hearing a radio, if you go to YouTube, do the call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And so, Ev, 73, sir, have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog.net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Give me a shout.
All right, listening down in Georgia right now on our SD down in Atlanta. And if you are down in that way, give me a shout. The KC9VKV listening in Georgia.
Hey, give me a shout. The KC9VKV listening in Georgia.
And now we're up in Pennsylvania and New York, around through there. This is KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
And we are in New York right now. This is KC9VKV. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you need checking out, give me a shout. And we're back on our special 10-foot vertical mag loop that's been oriented specifically for minimum local noise, which is probably, as I checked it last, a 6 dB difference from our other mag loops. The residual noise is 6 dB down from my other two vertical mag loops, and it's about 7 dB down from my resonant dipole antenna, so it's very, very quiet. I would say that just as an experiment, we could almost copy anybody, anywhere. Well, within reason, and if somebody's on a coat hanger, we're going to have a problem there. But this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. There's a Delta X-ray station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
X-ray station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
0 Oscar 4 Oscar Delta X-ray.
Oscar Delta X-ray, Roger, Roger. And what's the name there?
Oscar Delta X-ray, Roger, Roger. And what's the name there?
Oscar Delta X-ray, try it again. What's the name there?
Oscar Delta X-ray, try it again. What's the name there?
All right, tell you what, Oscar Delta X-ray station, give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system. Let me look around to see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger.
I heard Roger, but I need your transmission for about 10 seconds so I can look for you better, Roger.
Vertical. I have a J. Antenna, quarter vertical.
All right, Oscar Delta X-ray, I've got you on my local antenna, my one of my 10-foot vertical mag loops that I've tuned for minimum local noise. And what's the name there?
Charles, Frankfort, Kentucky.
All right, Charles, and I'm copying some noise every time you transmit. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but you're in Kentucky, is that a Roger?
Roger.
All right, and what radio are you running today, Charles?
ES 430S.
All right, Charles, I want you to do me a favor there, and I want you to key. I don't want you to say anything, just key for about 3 seconds, and let me listen, and just don't say anything. Only key for about 3 seconds and back off. Well, now, I don't know if that's you or not, Charles, but there is a lot of QRM associated with your transmission each time you transmit. And, good buddies can do that. Our local psychopaths love to do stuff like that, but it does seem to be related time-wise to your transmission, Roger.
Roger, thank you for the information.
Are you running a power amplifier right now? I heard it linger past when you transmitted, so it's somebody else causing QRM. If you'd be interested in our setup procedure, Charles, it starts with you verifying that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode.
I'm not in bandpass, to my knowledge.
Do you have a selection of widths? 100 to 2900 is the best performance for your radio transmit bandwidth, Roger?
Roger, 100 to what?
2900.
100 to 2900.
Roger. Do you have a watt meter or any kind of output meter that you can see your signal?
They're barking. I did not copy.
Roger, I'm saying, do you have any kind of way of looking at your output on a meter or anything on that radio?
I did not copy.
Well, Charles, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I'm doing the best I can do, you know. Usually, you know, it's the other way around, but I'm, you know, pedaling as hard as I can, sir. Hopefully the dogs aren't causing too much commotion. You have a volume control on your radio. You might turn it up just a little bit. I'm not real sure, but...
Volume is maximum.
Yeah, I think you've got some problems there, Charles. It sounds like you are generating some static burst as you speak, as you key. I didn't notice it when you just keyed by yourself, but mainly associated with your audio. So I would say key again. Do not say anything, but key again for about 5 seconds, and let me make sure that it's audio related. Roger?
Roger.
Yes, sir. It is, well, to some degree audio related, but it occurs even though you're not modulating. So I would say that since you're not running a power amplifier, that there is a problem with your radio. It could be that you're getting RF in the AF, getting some RF circulating back into your audio system. Roger, Roger?
Roger, and I attempted to watch the YouTube video on that issue, but it was in French, and I could not understand it.
Yes, sir. Well, there's a lot of American observations in RF in the AF, but you know, one of the common cures for that is a grounding system called Spider ground system. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you run a common ground out to about a 9-foot stake. And I use RG8 as the conductor because at RF levels it looks like about a 1-inch copper tube or pipe running out to the ground, and then you pick one place where all of your grounds from your various radios or facilities come together and ground at a common point, and that usually helps get rid of the RF in your audio. Roger? But I would say right now, Charles, you're almost unreadable because the static is the QRM that you're generating is as loud as your voice, so you're very difficult to understand. Roger.
Roger. Could this be a microphone issue?
It could be now. What kind of mic are you running there, sir? All right. Do you have a hand mic? Do you have a hand mic that you could put on for the moment, and we could check something out with the hand mic, Roger?
I don't think I do.
All right. Tell you what. Another thing you could do would be to turn your volume your volume much down from where it is, and work that microphone right on top of it, and let's see if reducing the sensitivity in your mic input might help. So what are you currently setting on your mic level control?
Got a 9.
I take that down to about a 4. Take that down to about a 4. Come right up on that mic and talk to me. Roger, Roger?
Roger. Is this better?
Yes, it seems to be. Again, tell me a little bit about your radio there for about 10 seconds, and let me listen to you.
The radio's about 38 years old. It's a Kenwood DS430S. I have a quarter wave mobile with a coil, and I have second story shack issues.
Roger. Well, Charles, you still have a little bit in there, not anywhere near as bad as you did before. So it's definitely like RF getting back into your audio system. So do you have a ground system on that radio at the moment?
It is grounded as well as I could possibly ground it.
Well, you know, the best way, are you on a second floor or third floor or something?
Yeah, second floor.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, are you renting or buying?
I own my property.
If you could probably, you know, that's a difficult situation to get a grounding on a second floor, but you could try, you know, like dumping out a piece of RG8 down the wall and putting a stake down at the bottom. And the problem is, though, that you could run into certain frequency multiples that would negate the capability of that ground system from working. But you could try. Roger, Roger.
Roger.
The other alternative would be to get a hand mic and you work that mic just right on top of it and keep your mic level down, you know, and that would minimize your RF and the AF problem.
Okay, thank you for the information. I appreciate it. Can you tell me your call sign again?
Yes, sir. Charles, this is Kilo Charlie 9. Victor Kilo Victor, KC9VKV. Name is Jim, Juliet India Mike. This is the Qso-Vlog net. We record now live till 5 and then post it up on YouTube. So if you want to hear what your radio is doing, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very helpful.
Yes, sir. And you know, I'm sorry that it was just so, you know, just constantly related to your transmission. I you know, was thinking that there might be some QRM folks doing that, but it is actually your radio. And again, normally there's maybe another way to handle that. Some folks, is that a coil? Is that you're using a desk mic? That's right, Roger?
I have a mobile radio sitting on the second story of my deck.
Yes, sir, but you're using a hand mic or a desk mic for it?
It has a desk microphone.
All right, and it's got a coil going from the mic to the radio. Is that a Roger?
It has a cable with it. It is kind of twisted, yes.
Yes, well, coil, hopefully. Well, you know, there's another way that you might try, and that's running a piece of ground wire inside the coil from the chassis of the radio to your microphone shell, the shell of your microphone. Sometimes that will help the RF get to ground as opposed to getting involved in your audio. So that would be a wire, and it just depends, you know, something that, you know, it could be a piece of zip wire, it could be a heavier wire, it could be a ground strap that runs inside your mic cable, that runs from the chassis of your radio to the chassis of your microphone, and what we're trying to do is get rid of that residual RF. Roger?
Roger. Should both ends be connected to the ground?
Yes, one end of that wire will be grounded to your radio chassis. The other end of the wire will be grounded at your microphone chassis. That could get you a ground loop, but it could also get rid of your noise, your QRM generation. So I would try that and see what happens, you know.
Thank you for the info. I will definitely try that.
Roger. Now, another thing, what is your current mic level?
It is 4.5.
All right. Try putting it on a 2 and come right up on that microphone. Put it on a 2 and come right up on top of that microphone.
This is 2 inches from the microphone with the volume on 2.
Not 2 inches, but be right up on that microphone. This is an experiment. I want you to actually touch the front of that microphone as you speak. Roger?
Roger, I'm now touching the microphone.
All right, so your transmission was absolutely clear at that moment. So try going to a 3 and come right up on that microphone and talk again.
Now this is a 3 on the microphone.
Okay, and again, that was clear, no noise. So we're up to a 3. Try a 3.5, and again, stay right up on that mic.
This is a 3.5.
All right, let's try a 4. A 4.
This is a 4.
Sounds pretty good there. Tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds.
The antenna is a quarter wave vertical antenna with, it is a JTC12 antenna. It has a coil in it. In my current SWR, it's about a 1.3.
Roger, Charles. That was perfect. No generation QRM there. So try a 5. Try a 5, and let's see where it goes.
This is a 5 with very close up to the microphone.
I would say you could, let's go to a 6. Let's go to a 6 and see what happens.
This is a 6, very close to the microphone.
All right, back off about 2 inches at a 6 and let me hear you.
This is a 6 at about 2 inches.
Okay, I heard a little clink there right at the beginning, so I would take it back to about a 4.5, 5, 4.5, and just work close on that mic, and let me hear you again.
This is about 2 inches from the microphone.
All right, go to a 3.5 and be right up on that mic, and let me listen to you.
This is a 3.5 right up on the microphone.
All right, that's clean. There's no problem. What you could do is get yourself a foam windscreen at any music store and just run your mic like that. And that foam windscreen will take care of any mouth noises that you might incur by working it so close. That would be the cheapest way. That foam windscreen is about $4, and that would be the cheapest way to resolve your problem. Roger?
Roger.
And then you could get your whatever color you want. They come in multiple colors, so you can get just whatever color you want. Roger?
Roger.
And I think that should resolve your issue until you can really find out what's going on, just temporarily. And like I say, any music store should have that windscreen, foam windscreen. Roger?
Roger. I appreciate the information.
All righty, sir. 73, Charles, and you have a wide latitude of possibilities to remedy the situation. The cheapest would be to run it at that level and tight mic it with a foam windscreen that will take care of the mouth noises. Roger.
Roger.
All right, sir, 73, and if you want to hear your radio, go to YouTube, do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, and that will be take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2500, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, thank you. 73.
Roger, Roger, Charles, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 3 Alpha Papa Alpha.
Whiskey 3 Alpha Papa Alpha. Roger, and what's the name there?
Tony here, 12 miles south of Pittsburgh, QSO.
Roger, Tony. Why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds, and let me look for a better path, Roger?
Okay, I got one.
Let me look for a better path, Roger.
Okay, I got one of those kits from ARRL, 66-foot wire, and wrapped it all around a donut and made a few solders in there and strung it up on two 20-foot poles. I'm doing 200 watts on a wire. Roger?
Roger, Tony. Well, I got my Milford PA SDR up, and you're just about 20 over there, so I really have a fine copy on you now. If you're interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you. Well, let's see. What radio are you running today, Tony?
Procedure starts with you. Well, let's see. What radio are you running today, Tony?
I'm on a Yaesu FTDX 5000 MP Limited. Roger?
Alrighty, and so the beginning of our setup procedure would be to verify that you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900, Roger?
Transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900, Roger?
I have it set at 300-2900 right now. Over.
Well, the critical thing is the 2900, so you're there, and you are rolling on the bottom end, and I'm assuming that you mean to do that, and I'm glad that you realize that you can keep the top end, because that's where all the audio articulation is, and when you normally that 300 setting, I think is 2700 to 300 or something like that, but you're maintaining that 2900, which is just excellent. Roger, Roger?
But you're maintaining that 2900, which is just excellent. Roger, Roger?
Hey, Roger, Roger. Yeah, I'm just curious to hear what I sound like. I know you record that stuff and put it on the air on YouTube. Roger?
Yes, sir. And we are recording now, and if you would be interested in our setup procedure, we could probably get you a few more levels of volume there, nice and clear. One of the things, the first thing is compression on at a 3. That's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it helps us arrive at our 3 dB dynamic range at the end of the setup. Roger?
It helps us arrive at our 3 dB dynamic range at the end of the setup. Roger?
Hey, Roger that. Okay, I just turned it up to a 3 there. Over. And, sir?
Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, the first part of that word audio, you become a human test tone generator, and you're setting a level, you're setting an acoustic level into an electronic level and to your ALC. So with mic gain in hand, and as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is reading 2/3. Roger?
Adjust your mic gain until your ALC is reading 2/3. Roger?
Okay, I just flipped the switch here. Audio. Okay, wait a minute, I'm over. Oh, when I talk like this, it's about 2/3. When I go audio, it's right to the end of the blue. Over.
Well, don't stress it. Just say the word like you would say any other word in a QSO. Just the same level. Don't stress it. Like that. Just say the word and adjust your mic level until your ALC is 2/3. And also the position that you are in, like you normally are in a QSO. Don't get closer or further away from the microphone. It's just a very natural way of setting your level.
From the microphone, it's just a very natural way of setting your level.
Roger that. Yeah, this right here is usually the way I talk right now. And I'm right up against the mic. I got a PR781 Howe mic on a boom with one of them windscreens, and I just put my nose right up against it and talk. Roger?
Yes, sir. And I would keep my ALC out, my ALC meter out, and so you can look at that. I mean, you've got to have something to do. The sweet spot on that ALC meter is 2/3. That is to the right of mid-scale, 2/3. And I would just keep observation of that ALC meter as I'm QSOing, and you might have to adjust it slightly for 2/3 in that sweet spot. But over a period of time, man, you just develop a relationship with your ALC meter, Roger.
Develop a relationship with your ALC meter, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, I'm looking at it now, and it's fluctuating, but that's about where it's at. 2/3, maybe 4/5, somewhere in that area there, depending on how the peaks there. Over.
Yes, sir. Now, do you know where your EQ page is?
Do you know where your EQ page is?
Do I know where what is?
Your equalization page, your tone control.
Your equalization page, your tone control.
Yeah, I have it on the EQ now. I can turn it off. Hold on.
Now we don't leave it on. That's what we want, but we want to just increase the treble boost just a tad, maybe 2 clicks hotter on the treble side, depending on what kind of EQ you're running, Roger.
On the treble side, depending on what kind of EQ you're running, Roger.
Okay. Well, I shut it off. I'm not running it now. Hold on a minute.
Now.
She's back on now. It lit up on the screen, but I'd have to go in my menu and get the book and look at how the settings are. Over.
Yes, sir. It's very close. I just would prefer just a little more intelligibility. The thing is, the problem with Mother Nature is that from time to time she decides to take all your top end away. She decides to bend your, everything that we do, it travels by skywave and depends on the bounce to get to where it's going. And sometimes Mother Nature pulls a cruel prank and lets part of it blow by and then decides to bend it at a later time, and when it comes back and joins the original that was bent at an earlier point, it comes back. It could be slightly out of phase or it could be very out of phase, and it always starts to cancel from the top down. So you have this great beautiful wide audio spectrum transmission audio wise, and then all of a sudden Mother Nature just takes all the top end out and you're left with Mr. Bassman, Roger.
And you're left with Mr. Bassman, Roger.
I'll copy that. So you say I should be on the high end, 2 clicks up. Is that a Roger?
Yes, sir. You want to make sure that you have plenty of top end content, that you could lose some and still be very articulated, and folks can still understand what you're saying, Roger.
Articulated, and folks can still understand what you're saying, Roger.
Okay, I went to 200-28. Does that make is that worse than I was before? Or should I go back to 327-2700?
I thought you were 300-2900.
to 300, 2900.
You know, you can select, even though you're in that wide mode, you can select 300 instead of 100 on your bottom end. Yeah, it'd be 29 on the top and roll at 300 on the bottom. You can manually set those.
And roll at 300 on the bottom. You can manually set those.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to think how to do that. See, I'm just, the way it's set now, it's 327. So you want it 29. I have to go in the menu and see how to do that. Over.
Well, it should be settings, and then transmit sideband. Then you're into it, you know. And the first thing would be your TBW. That's your transmit bandwidth. And it would normally come up as 100 to 2900 as the preferred wide spectrum thing, but you can make that, you can manually adjust that bottom frequency to 300 instead of 100. So you're 2900 on the top and just make an adjustment for 300 on the bottom, Roger.
And just make an adjustment for 300 on the bottom, Roger.
Okay, this is 100, 2900 right here. This is by me turning a knob here on the radio. This is 100-2900 without going in the menu and changing anything. Over.
Yes, sir. That's beautiful. I would run it just like that. That is the best way to run that radio, as far as the radio being able to realize all of its potential. 100 to 2900. Now you can, you know, a lot of radios, maybe you can go up to 3.55, you know, on up there. But the problem is, the wider you get, the more inclined you are to have visitors with pitchforks. Roger.
Inclined you are to have visitors with pitchforks, Roger.
Okay, hold on a minute. I know what you're saying. I'm gonna do that for a second here. Hold on.
That's the best I've ever heard that radio.
Okay, this is as wide as it'll go. This is the far top end. I'm gonna go back to 100-2900. Roger.
Yes, sir. That's the best way, and you can get. The thing is, with 100 to 2900, you've got a beautiful field there for, you know, doing the EQ thing. 2900 is plenty of bandpass to be able to get your top end just beautiful, Roger. You don't have to technically exceed the 2900 to get a nice top end.
Exceed the 2900 to get a nice top end.
Roger that. Yeah, I think that, what does that do? Gives it more punch when you're, you know, you want to break through a cluster on one of those, you know, when everybody's trying to get through to a station there. Over.
Well, that's part of it, but just technically from a transmitter standpoint, what you're doing is trying to get the width of the bandpass to where, you know, you can have some articulation, but not to the point that you're getting over into somebody else's front yard, you know, as far as splattering. So 100 to 2900 is a nice broad width that you can get all the quality you want from the top end, you know, from your EQ, and like I say, a plus 2 clicks additional in your case, would just be beautiful, Roger. And actually, now that you're up to 29, it's really close as to whether you would need those plus 2 clicks treble boost, Roger, because you're much more top end articulated now at 29 as you were at 27, Roger.
Now at 29 as you were at 27, Roger.
Roger. Okay, well, I'll have to, like I said, find my glasses somewhere and get the book and, you know, jump through some of the settings. And I'll have to get back to you, I guess. You're on, what, every what, day, or just on Fridays, or how does that work? Over?
Just on Friday afternoons from 3:30 till 5, and you can easily do those 2 clicks treble boost. Do you know what kind of an equalizer you have?
Clicks the treble boost. Do you know what kind of an equalizer you have?
No, I don't. It's just built in a radio. It comes with 5,000. I'm not sure if there's a name, or, I mean, how would I find that out? It just says EQ, and then if I click it again, it goes to processor. But I know it does have three levels of setting. There's like a high, a mid, that's usually 0, and then there's the low end, like 1, 2, and 3, and I think that's the bass part. Over.
Yes, sir. So that's called a 3-band EQ, bass, mid-range, and treble. And the whole idea behind an equalizer is to strike a balance from the mid-range to the top and from the mid-range to the bottom. And because of that, you want your mid-range flat. Because if you boost the mid-range, it's so much harder for the treble to catch up for EQ, and the bass to catch up to the mid-range for EQ. So you want the mid-range to be flat. And then, since it's a 3-band, in your case, everything stays the same except on your treble. 2 clicks additional boost from where you are. Roger?
2 clicks additional boost from where you are. Roger?
Yeah, copy that. Yeah, I think its default is 0, so I guess that's flat, as you're saying it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the mids on all of them is 0. It says default. Over.
Yes, sir. I'm just saying that leave everything the same as it is, except 2 clicks push additional from where you are on your treble control. Roger?
Additional from where you are on your treble control. Roger?
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll have to go in and see what the setting is. And you're on till when? I think I heard you say every Friday till 5 or something, or 4. It's almost that now over here anyway. I don't know where you're at. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, we run between 3:30 and 5. Record live 3:30 till 5, and then post it up on YouTube. So if you want to hear what your radio sounds like at the moment, you could go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to this recording. It's cut number 1 in a series of 2,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I grabbed the book now. I found my glasses, and with the EQ on, right?
Yes, sir. Now I just switched over to my local receiver. There's a difference between SDR receivers and local receivers. Mine is good from 100 to 2900. And talk to me just for a moment. Let me listen to you on my receiver.
Okay, I'll just go through the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How's that?
Yes, sir. There's about, like on an SDR, it rolls out at about 200 cycles. All SDRs roll out at about 200 cycles. On my local receiver, it's good down to 100 cycles. You have plenty of bottom end. You just need a little more top end to balance. Roger, Roger.
Okay, you say I need some top end. Let's see, it's 153 EQ level. Default settings 5. I got it on -5. So let me make a few adjustments here.
Now wait before you do anything. You want everything the same. You just want to add 2 clicks top end boost, 2 clicks bass. 2 clicks treble boost from where you are. Everything else is the same. Just treble boost, 2 clicks.
Okay, roger, roger. There's 2 clicks right there. You do anything? Over.
Yes, sir, we have somebody playing with a CW paddle.
Yes, sir, we have somebody playing with a CW paddle.
Yeah, you got them clients everywhere.
Yes, sir, more than that. But, we used to have certain programs that would help these people, but I guess, when we cut back for mental health, a lot of people got left out in the cold, Roger.
For mental health, a lot of people got left out in the cold, Roger.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, I made a adjustment. How's it sound now? Is that any better or is that worse?
Oh, I love it. I think you'll love it. And I have I have a chevron on the right side that will tell you exactly where I am and where the audio is coming from. It has 4 internet SDRs plus my local receivers, and so you can tell exactly where I am there. And then there's a spectrum analyzer also on the set that has, by way of information, it has a white mark on the left side, which denotes 100 cycles, and it has 2 white marks on the right side. First one out from the right is 1 KC. There's a black space, which is 2 KC, and the second white mark is 4 KC on the right, Roger.
And the second white mark is 4 KC on the right, Roger.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, there, how's that? Does that sound any better, over?
Oh, it sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down.
Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down.
Yeah, I'll put some Gorilla Glue on, or tape. I think that's your... I've heard you say that in the past. Gorilla Tape, roger.
Oh, yes, sir. Now, they're making the 4-inch stuff now, man. That sucker really holds.
They're making the 4-inch stuff now, man. That sucker really holds.
What, that's definitely an improvement. I was turning the wrong setting. I turned this up, I think it's 300 now instead of 200. It went from whatever that to 2900. I'm pretty sure that's what it is right now, over.
All right, so it used to be, well, I don't know what it used to be. Normally, it's 100 to 2900. That's a normal wide setting that we prefer folks run. But you can change those parameters, particularly on the bottom side for you, and make it 300 instead of 100. So you would be running 300 to 2900, Roger.
So you would be running 300 to 2900, Roger.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, yeah, I'm back on that bandpass 100-29, but I turned that other setting up to 300. I think you said it was perfect or whatever.
Yes, sir. I would leave it again. Get the tape and taper down. It's perfect just the way it is. Don't change a thing, Roger.
That's perfect just the way it is. Don't change a thing, Roger. Contact.
Hey, okay. And you say tomorrow around noon. Good. I want to hear what I do. I actually want to hear what this radio sounds like with this microphone and the whole 9 yards there. Over.
Yes, sir, and there's a contact out there. Contact, go ahead.
Yes, sir, and there's a contact out there. Contact, go ahead. Hey, Tony, spot on. I've never heard that radio, so, the bass is nice and warm, mid and high emphasis is perfect. Like you said, nail it down, don't ever touch it again. It sounds phenomenal.
Hey, roger. Thanks, Rich. Yeah, Jim, that's a local out here where I live, over.
Yes, sir. A discerning local talent. Roger.
Yes, sir. A discerning local talent. Roger.
Yeah, he's about as local as you could get. He's right across the river from where I'm at, one hill to the other, over.
Yes, sir. Well, when he paddles, you get a wake in the water, Roger.
Yes, sir. Well, when he paddles, you get a wake in the water, Roger.
Yeah, there you go.
All righty, we got to get out of here, sir. It's been a pleasure. Hope you've enjoyed it. And again, we'll be posting this on YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
We'll be posting this on YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah, we doubled. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jim.
Roger, roger. So, I see by the clock on the wall there's a dead fly. Ooh, so we got to get out of here. Again, since 3:30 we've been recording live, and if you've participated and wanted to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,500, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So, with that being said, we will be clear and turn the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, clear.